I find a remarkable synergy in relation to Our Lady of the Leche because the very day of our canonical coronation, Pope Francis is beginning the Synod on Synodality. And when I pondered the Blessed Mother, I, I recalled the words that begin the rule of St. Benedict: listen with the ear of the heart. And Mary is a model of this pondering. She pondered all the events in Jesus' life and kept them in her heart. And
St. Luke wrote that.
yes, and this synodal process and the example of Our Lady seem to create a very blessed synergy for us here in the Diocese of
Now,
St.
I
Augustine.
think, Father, that some people may not know what synergy is.
Oh, yes. The Holy Spirit bringing it all together.
Excellent, excellent. Because the Holy Spirit is in action.
Absolutely. And so I know throughout your episcopacy, listening sessions have been central pillars, really, in the different movements of your leadership. Can you tell us a little bit what these listening sessions have meant for you and how they might be a springboard to the Synod on Synodality?
Well, this diocese has a good experience because in our own planning, we have always begun the planning as the first phase in having listening session. Our diocese covers 17 counties in northeastern Florida. And so we have gone from we have 5 deaneries, 5 networks of parishes. And we have gone to those 5 networks, plus schools and social action groups, to ask those questions to them and enabling us not only to hear and to annotate, but to really take heart of what they say, which is different. I think you could hear and, oh yeah, I heard, I know. But that's not what synodality is about. I think it's the listening of Jesus with the disciples of Emmaus. He was listening their pain. He was listening their nostalgia. And he begins to interpret the scriptures, responding to their pain. So it is that active listening of Jesus walking with the disciples that we were inspired to do. And so we had the first plan, we had a second plan, we had a stewardship plan, and always began with listening. And even after the formulation of the plan, responding pastorally to the plan, we will get back to other groups to see, we will check the notes of our listening to see, is there correspondence between what they said and the final product? And so it was a synodal process. We didn't call it then that, but in reality, it was.
Yes. And I know the root of the word synod is gathering. So we have parish gathering, we have a deanery gathering, diocesan gathering, regional gathering, national gathering, then universal gathering.
Yeah, that's the way that Pope Francis structured the whole synodal process, which is a process not only that we want to produce a document. No, in that process we are being transformed in that listening. And so the process, the way he structured it, it used to be that it was a gathering in Rome, but no, he wants to listen to the local churches. Imagine, global. The church is global. It's the whole world. So this is a global process. And then after the local churches, the dioceses, there is the episcopal conferences, the regional and national conferences that will pull together all those listening in the local churches. That's what he calls the continental gathering. synod, the continental phase of the synod, and then all of that material goes to Rome for the final phase, which is the synod in Rome. But that synod in Rome is almost like the fruit of the local, the regional, the national, the continental. So it is a very articulate process, very visionary of Pope Francis.
Yes. And I think it's very moving to imagine that every diocese in the world will be entering into this dynamic of deep listening, which I imagine is perhaps a unique moment in the history of the
Indeed,
Church.
and it has a beginning, like you said, Father Al, October 11, October 10, and it has a chronology where we need to, in other words, the timing is framed that we need to get the listening accomplished during that time.
Yes.
It's very well organized. It's not each one doing its own thing. We have a sort of a guidance on how to go about it.
Yes, and I don't think it's an accident that we're crowning humility on the 10th and beginning the synodal process on the 10th.
Well, more than anyone, you are the one who has seen that synergy, and your insights are very precious because you have grasped the work of the Holy Spirit.
Well, thank you very much. I do see in my own ministry, of spiritual direction and sacrament of reconciliation, that Mary's receptivity has been a model for me. And I think it's just amazing that we're having Our Lady of La Leche, this wonderful nourisher, being crowned when we begin the synodal process, because it is a Marian event in a sense, because when you listen to somebody attentively and lovingly, you're allowing their ideas to gestate, just as Jesus himself gestated in the womb of Mary.
And in a way, it was her experience because she was praying, and the angel appeared to her with an incredible mission. You are to be the mother of the Messiah. She listened and she said, "Let it be done."
Yes.
Very engaged, let it be done.
Yes.
And at the cross, she was there in union with the Son, in compassion, in his atonement, sacrifice. And he says to her, be the mother. And John representing the entire Christianity, all of us. And she takes that mission of being the mother of all Christians there at the cross.
Yes.
So she listened and responded.
Yes. Yeah, it's truly amazing. And I know that parishioners all over the diocese will have the opportunity to participate in deanery gatherings, so that facilitated listening can happen. And I think it's important to say that a synodal gathering is similar to and different from a town hall meeting. Town hall meeting, people can opine just about anything. But a synodal meeting is a thoughtful, I might even say a contemplative process. It's allowing ourselves to share the fruits of our contemplation in a way ordered to the common good.
That's beautifully stated. And also, we are not saying our own agenda. It's not about our agenda or the things that we want. It's more responding to the questions that the Holy Father is asking us.
Yes.
So it's the Holy Father is asking us to provide opinion to matters that he's considering important for the church.
Yes. I know every week I ask Aaron McGeever for the questions. I think the Holy Father is kind of whetting our appetite, because the Holy See will provide a number of questions for us to engage in. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. And I believe some wonderful things and themes are going to emerge in this process, because it's been my experience when people gather in the Spirit also begins to identify certain themes that he would like to be addressed for the good of the church. And so we have that to look forward to, and the process itself is a way of converting our structures.
Yes, and I think I am in the ninth inning of a baseball team. There will be another bishop coming after me, and I think he, in seeing those themes, in seeing the Sentiricum Ecclesiae of the diocese, that will be a precious instrument for him as he leads this diocese forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know in our parish council, we were talking about, the Uncle Sam poster said, "I want you." We want to have a poster of Pope Francis, "I want to hear your opinion," or "I want to hear your heart." It's kind of interesting that the Holy Father wants to hear from everyone. I think this is a remarkable expression of radical openness and hospitality.
Well, I think he really is taking serious that the church is the people of God.
Yes.
And I am part of that people of God, and you are part of the people of God. And all the baptized are part of the people of God.
Yes.
And I think that Pope Francis has a great sensitivity to the dignity of the people of God.
Yes.
When he talks about holiness, he says the holiness of the next door neighbor. And I see that. I see those very simple people who don't have titles and, not recognition, and are witnessing self-love, care, the works of mercy, going to the prisons, in multiple ways, caring for others. That's the people of God in action.
Yes. And perhaps in a way, this is a deepening of our assimilation of the teachings of the Vatican Council.
Exactly.
Because these have been transitional years in many ways, and a lot of external things have changed. And now perhaps we're settled enough to go deeper into what it means to be church.
Well, and we need to understand that the Synod is a fruit of the Council.
Yes.
Because the synods in the church begin with Vatican II.
Yes.
Pope Paul VI began the first synod immediately after the council. So some people say, "Oh, we need Vatican III." I don't think so, because we have the synod. And so we have had more than 20 synods. We had one on the youth, we had one on the family, and now we have one on synodality.
Yes.
Which is, I think, is Pope Francis interpreting the signs of the times, that the church of the 21st century needs to move in the direction of the people of God walking together, listening together, planning together, like the Acts of the Apostles says, they were one mind, one heart.
Yes.
A phrase that St. Augustine was very touched by that.
Yes.
One heart and one mind.
Yes. And perhaps there's a healing, a seed of healing for our culture.
Exactly.
That is often divided by conflictual rhetoric.
Yeah, and every family has that. Every family understands that one is not the same as the other, the taste and the preferences and so on. But when the table comes, we all sit on the table. And mother and dad are very special, and we are one as a family. So it's acknowledging diversity, but one. One heart, one mind, as the Acts of the Apostles says.
Yes. Perfect.